Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Talking Points for Heroes of the Storm. As always, I'm Conrad from GosuGamers.
And I'm ManMode. This time I'm actually not from GosuGamers.
Oh, really? You moved
No,
on?
I'm still from
Still
GosuGamers.
from GosuGamers. Great. So we actually have a two-parter this week. There's a lot of information for us to cover, so we're going to break it into two episodes. One coming out now, and one will be coming out within the next
few
week,
days.
I would say. Yeah, and within the next few days or week. But today we're going to be talking about the most recent patch notes, the January 20th patch notes, as well as the two new hero reveals, Li-Ming the Wizard and Zul the Necromancer, which are both very exciting. Our last Nephilim that we've been missing from Diablo 3, as well as one of the playable characters from Diablo 2, which is a first to Heroes of the Storm. So, if you would like to start us off, ManMode, we're going to talk right about those patch notes. You want to start from the top with Cleanse?
Yeah, okay, so Cleanse, this is really interesting. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings in the community about this, but yeah, basically, so it's now it works similar to how it did before. The target ally becomes unstoppable for 1 second, so it's gonna break. I believe it breaks CC.
That is correct, yes.
Yeah, it's gonna break CC and it's gonna make you immune to CC for 1 second. So
Yes.
you can pre-cleanse like you used to be able to, which is good. You know, it's good for high level players who were able to do stuff with that. But the bad thing is it went from a 25-second cooldown to a 60-second cooldown, and you can no longer cleanse yourself.
Yeah.
So, you know, you take the good with the bad. It's good that it has that old functionality that you know you can make those sick plays with as a support. You know, you get some kind of reactive gameplay where you can say, "Oh, I did this as a support player, and now it showed off how good I am." You know, but at the same time, that cooldown hurts. It hurts
Yeah,
really bad.
for sure.
That is that's absolutely going to play into certain things. So if you use cleanse, there's a 60-second period as opposed to a nearly 30-second period where an enemy team can once again get the jump on you guys and get a pick.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can't cleanse yourself, unless you're Rhaegar, you know it's really hard to escape as most supports.
Mm-hmm.
So the cleansing yourself was really useful, but I guess to try and balance it out, you can't do that anymore. Basically, you're just gonna have to play really safe. So I mean, it's a double-edged sword. It's good, but it's also bad.
Yeah. I like the change because I feel like it opens more counterplay in the current meta. Like having the regular cleanse, like the cleanse that we've had, which is just reducing CC effects, kind of like Sonya's Wrath of the Berserker. It's not as powerful, and you don't feel like you can really stop the Tyrande Kael'thas comps. You don't feel like you can break those CCs. Now, returning cleanse back to its old ways, what many considered overpowered, you know, it's tough to do that, but remaking that cooldown to make it so that you really have to play smart about it. You can't just do it willy-nilly and then have it up for the next whatever team fight or you know in the middle of the team fight. So you have to play more smart about it, which I think is a good change.
Yeah,
and I think it's also healthy.
Good.
I think it's healthy for the meta.
Yeah. It's definitely healthy that we now have a legitimate answer to stuns instead of just, oh, you can break the stun or the CC once, but then it's just reduced. Which, yeah, it's good to counter all the Tyrandas and dibbles you see around.
There you go. All right, so moving on, we're going to start talking about some characters, starting with our assassin class. We'll start with Lunara, who is, you know, kind of panned on release. They've increased her base health by 130, increased her health regen, as well as the damage from her trait by 2 and plus 1% per level. I'd say these are small tweaks. What do you think about them?
She still feels really bad. Actually, I played her a lot on release, trying to get her to work, and you know, clearly she was not very good, and I found that out quickly. And I'm like, oh well, you know, I'll wait for the buffs to come, and then I'll play her because I love the feel of the character, and I've loved her since I played her at BlizzCon. She's really fun. But let's see, if you go, like, even on my Hostlex profile, I've got a 20% win rate with her currently.
Jeez.
She is super bad. And it's the buffs did help. She definitely does more damage late game, and she's a little tankier. She can survive engagements just a little bit longer, which is nice. She's no longer instantly blown up by Kael'thas. It does take him his normal rotation, and I think 2 or 3 auto attacks now, which is good.
Okay.
And late game, she does become kind of a damage monster. I mean, she does do a lot of deeps and can really melt down a squishy target over time. But the problem is still her stutter stepping. It's a huge issue.
Yeah.
If you get even close to melee range or enough for it to trigger, it completely breaks up her stutter stepping. She just can't do it.
Yeah.
So she's got the thrall sickness going on, like he used to have, which is really, really annoying, and it feels horrible to play. And I just can't have fun with her yet.
Yeah, I feel that. I think it's nice that they're trying to do baby steps. They don't want to overtune her, but at the same time, it's kind of tough, seeing this character still not in the state where she needs to be. I respect them taking baby steps, but I wish they would go a little bit farther. And I think they will coming up, seeing how it works.
They have said that they are working on fixing her stutter step issues, so I think once that happens, she will be in a pretty good spot. Not too overpowered, not too underpowered. But I played like 4 games with her yesterday and lost every single one. And it just really felt like I had no impact, so
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, moving on to Raynor. We have a couple of Raynor tweaks. Health has been decreased by around 70. Health regen has been decreased, as well as the bullseye talent for Q. The stun duration has been decreased from 1.5 to 1 second.
That's the big one right there.
That is the huge one. So now, even if he takes double stun and he double Qs you, instead of being locked out for 3 seconds, you're locked out for 2 seconds. Or just 1 as opposed to 1.5, which is big. It's very big.
Yeah, so the issue with Raynor, and I think it was Grubby who said this best. Maybe it was Solid Jake. I watched both their patch note reviews, both smart guys with the game. I think it was Grubby who said it. Raynor's main problem was he could do too much damage without having to really sacrifice much. So he was really safe. He was too safe. Yeah. So I think the health decretion and the health regeneration decretion really helps with that. You can punish him a bit easier now. He can't just. So he has the opposite problem that Lunara had. He could stay in engagements for too long. And of course, stuns are a whole separate issue of their own. They're a whole different beast.
Yeah.
Stun duration decrease. That's always good to see. I think for any character, I don't think I'll ever be too upset about them decreasing the duration of the stun.
Yeah.
Except maybe Uther. He kind of needs his.
Yeah. Right. All right. Moving on to support. We got Brightwing. Her arcane flare, her Q has been buffed. Inner area damage has been about doubled. Mana cost has been reduced. Yeah, right.
So good.
Yeah, mana cost has been reduced. Cooldown has been reduced by 2 seconds, and one of the talents has been removed. Arcane precision.
You look at this and you're like, "Holy hell!" They just buffed the crap out of Brightwing. But not really.
Yeah.
Because you kind of have to be brain dead to stand in the. I mean, there are some situations
in the middle of that circle.
There are some situations where you're not going to be able to avoid it. That's true. Which in those situations, holy crap, that's going to hit you like a truck. But mostly this is pointed at fixing her problems with laning. She's not a very strong laner.
Yeah.
So this is just going to give her a bit more wave clear. Let her spam that Q a bit more because 50 mana, it's really expensive.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the problem is that all the other supports, other than debatably Rhaegar, have a really strong option to clear on a short cooldown.
Rhaegar's actually got pretty good clear.
Yeah, but I feel like you need to set that up,
No, that is true. That is true. Morales, I don't think has that good of clear, but
that's fair. Yeah,
she can heal her minions for almost no cost. So.
That is true. Yeah. I think this is it's kind of like a quality of life change. They understand that it's a little too expensive, the cooldown's a little too long for not a lot of payoff, so they want to make it more in line. And
boy, does that thing hurt. I think since the change, I've only got hit dead center by one of them, but I definitely felt it. It was very painful.
All right, Malfurion, regrowth buff, initial heal increased by around 15 health. As well as the periodic healing is increased by around 8 health. Just like I said, another small tweak to regrowth. I think that's a good change. And then Tranquility has actually been nerfed slightly. The periodic healing has decreased by 6. so from 46 to 40 health. I think this is. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Say what you want to say.
I was going to say, I think this is like, as someone who plays Malfurion quite a bit, I think this is a pretty good change. Tranquility was like one of the strongest healing ults in the game. It does feel very powerful, but when you don't have Tranquility up, regrowth does feel a little lacking in some regards. So I think tuning it in this way is smart. I think it makes sense.
Malf was kind of in a weird spot because he had really strong numbers, but it's over time. It isn't burst heal, so he can't really bring somebody back from the brink. Even with Tranquility, he couldn't really do that. Like if they were too low, they were already past a certain threshold and they were going to be dead anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But you also, if he popped Trank during a team fight, you kind of had to just back away. Like if nobody was close to dying, there was nothing you could do, so you just had to run. Now I think this is good. It makes regrowth an ability now, instead of just having it be, oh yeah, that's the heal that kind of
small heal,
tickles people up back to full life.
Right.
It actually heals a lot now. I think in a game I played today, I was playing as, I want to say, Johanna, and like one of his Qs would bring me to about, if I had 0 health, it would have brought me back to about half. So I mean, it definitely heals for a lot. It's still over time, so you still have to kind of time it. You still have to be smart about when you heal.
Well, I feel like that's part of playing Malfurion, is knowing when to pre-heal or when is an appropriate time to heal to really get the beneficial effect of the heal over time.
Yeah, the one thing I don't like about this though is that nerfing Tranquility is, it's good to reduce the healing to make it not so scary, and you can still team fight inside of it as the opposing team. But it's got a really, really long cooldown.
Yeah,
I think it's 2 minutes long, which is, I'm pretty sure it's the longest cooldown in the game.
Could be.
So the more, there's got to be a line where you nerf it too much. You got to reduce the cooldown a little bit to make up for that. Because I think it's fine where it's at right now. Pretty good. But there is still that fine line you dance with an ult that has that long of a cooldown. It's kind of gotta be powerful to justify having a cooldown that long.
Yeah.
But I think this is good. I think it's fine where it's at. I think he's in a pretty good spot right now.
Yeah, I agree.
Aside from the fact that he doesn't really fit in with the current meta.
Yeah, with the burst meta, for sure. All right, and last but not least, our favorite Tyrande.
Oh boy.
A lot of changes here. So basic attack damage has been decreased by 5. True Shot Aura's basic attack damage bonus now only affects allied heroes as opposed to all allies. Hunter's Mark, the talent Ranger's Mark, reduces the cooldown from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. The reduction is, instead of 8 seconds reduction, it's 6 second reduction. And then Hunter's Fury, the attack speed bonus that is given upon using Hunter's Mark has been increased from 4 to 5 seconds. Light of a Loon, the allied heal amount has been increased from 310 to 320, and the Overflowing Light talent reduces the healing bonus from 35 to 30%. For E, Lunar Flare, the stun duration has been decreased by a quarter of a second, so from 1 to 3/4 of a second. And Lunar Blaze now increases the range not by 50%, but by 40%. Shadow Stalk, cooldown has been increased by 10 seconds up to 60 seconds. Periodic healing has been decreased a very, very small amount. The final burst heal has been decreased also a very small amount. And the movement speed bonus given by the Hunter's Swiftness level 20 talent has been decreased from 40% to 30%. And Starfall, the damage from Starfall has been increased from 64 damage per second to 69 damage per second. So there's a lot going on here. What do you think is the most important change in this set?
Most important change is definitely stun duration decreased from 1 to 0.75 seconds.
I would agree with that. Yeah, for sure. I feel like that is one of the things that, obviously Tyrande has a very versatile kit, but that is one of the things that is really affecting the meta the most right now, is her stun.
I think there's a lot of split opinions on this one too. I think a lot of people think that this is good, that this is the change she needed, and that she's pretty balanced now. And there's a lot of people who think, oh, they didn't touch her trait like hardly at all. They only messed with the talents for it. Her trait was what made her so powerful. She's still broken. I think in a lot of ways they're both kind of right. She's definitely in a better spot because a 0.75 second stun does not feel like a long time.
No.
I mean, of course, a fourth of a second isn't a long time to cut off of something, but in game, 1 second stun opposed to a 0.75 second stun, it feels like an eternity.
It's an absolutely different ball game. Absolutely.
It feels like an eternity to be stunned by that.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think that's really good. I like the fact that they didn't mess with her too much, because they did have a habit for a time of making a hero that was overpowered for a while dumpster tier. Cough Stitches.
Yeah.
Cough.
Yeah.
I like these changes though. They reduced the amount of damage she can do. They reduced the amount of easy setup she has for stuff with the stun duration decrease. They slightly reduced the healing because the healing was kind of crazy. She could out heal an Uther easy any day, easy peasy. And they made Starfall a little more viable. Not that it wasn't viable; it was just Shadowstalk is so much better.
Yeah, especially with the short cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would completely agree with you. I like I was saying about Lunara earlier, these baby steps. Not going too hard. I know I saw a lot of people on Reddit being like, "Thank you for nerfing this character without gutting her," and that really rang true with me. It's like they don't want to overstep the boundaries quite yet. They want to mess with her, but not destroy her, like you were talking about. So
yeah.
I like these changes. I would like to see how that affects her in terms of ranking, in terms of how she performs on higher tiers.
I don't think she's going to see that much drop off.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so either, but I think it'll be interesting to see how it affects high level play, like see how much of an impact she has opposed to now.
I think in competitive games she's still going to be banned quite a bit, but I don't think she's going to be quite like the ban material she was before. I think she's going to be let slip through a couple times. We're going to see more of her in actual play instead of in the drafting phase, and she's going to be a little easier to deal with, which is kind of what we wanted. We just wanted to have her not be so dominant, because she was really good, and she's still really good. She's just not as good.
Yeah. All right, and our last character for these patch notes is Stitches, like you were talking about. And we got some crazy changes here. Basic attack damage has been increased by 9, and slam damage has been increased by 16.
That's so big. It's so big.
Baby steps, right? Baby steps.
No, but they've been trying. Oh man, oh god, do they try for Stitches to be good. Yeah. And I don't think I still don't think he's very good, but he's definitely not as crappy as he once was. I think this is actually kind of big, to be honest.
Oh, I completely agree. I think these numbers are large. To be honest.
This is going to give him a lot of damage. Might even make Slam build viable. Who knows? But
back from the days, yeah.
Oh god, please shoot me now if that ever happens. But no, I think this is good. I think he's going to see a little bit more play. Not a lot. It's just damage increase, but he's not going to be useless. Yeah. And I guess that's all you can really ask for is for Stitches not to be useless.
Yep. All right, so those are our patch note. That's our patch note recap. Just a quick little thing on that. And now we will talk about Li-Ming and Zul, our new characters. So both are from Diablo. Li-Ming is the last of the Diablo 3 Nephilim. And her skill set includes her trait Critical Mass. Participating in a killer assist lowers the cooldowns of all skills. I don't know if it's a reset or if it's just lowering cooldowns. Do you know?
I've heard both. I'm actually not sure either.
Okay.
If I had to guess, I'd say it was lower cool.
Okay.
If I had to guess,
it's including heroics, so I'm not sure.
I think it's lower cooldowns, right?
Okay.
But the thing is a cooldown reset is also kind of in a way a lower, it's a lower cooldown.
Yeah.
So I think who freaking knows, right?
Yeah. Citation
needed. Citation needed for sure.
All right. Her Q magic missile is a skill shot that shoots 3 missiles at a target point. They come from the side of her as opposed to her wand / whatever, which is interesting.
You know how
so
much...
you're not just pointing from your character; it's actually coming from the side of you.
I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on Talking Points before, but you know how much I love unique telegraphs. Not telegraphs, but like
well, kind
the,
of.
The
Like points, yeah.
They're well, they're telegraphs for you, but not for the enemy.
Yeah.
That's why I feel telegraph is the wrong word.
Yeah.
But I love the like Tyrael smite, like the curved and with like three. I just love the way it looks. So that's gonna be really. I'm hoping that has a really unique sort of look to it before you cast it.
Yeah, the comparison that I would make is a League of Legends champion named Heimerdinger. His W shoots missiles, but it shoots 5 missiles from him, all from different points. So this is kind of very similar, where it's not, just here's the point, I'm clicking there, it's going there. It's you have to really look around to see where it's going to start, where it's going, and how that will affect hitting the enemies, which is very cool.
Yep.
All right, her W, Arcane Orb. It's a moderate speed projectile with a long range, dealing more damage the farther away the enemies are.
Oh, that's further?
Yes.
Thank you.
Further, I'm sorry. So, I mean, this is pretty straightforward. If you play Diablo, you know how Arcane Orb looks. It just deals more damage the farther it goes.
It's a big blob of arcane snipage.
Yep, pretty much.
It's a really fat Nova snipe that moves slowly.
Yep, pretty much. Her E is teleport. It's just a blink. It has a shorter cooldown though, and it has a shorter range than a normal blink.
This is apparently more like Cho'Gall's nudge than it is like a Bolt of the Storm.
Interesting.
It's
okay.
really just like a poof poof sort of thing.
Interesting. Cool. And then, her first heroic is Disintegrate. Huge lava laser beam. Channels a wave of energy aimed with the cursor, similar to, let's say, Diablo. And then deals damage in that line.
If you played Diablo 3 and you played a wizard, you know how Disintegrate works. It's going to work the same way.
It's very straightforward. And then her second heroic, Wave of Force, is interesting. So it's kind of like a wailing arrow, but instead of silencing enemies wherever she detonates it, it instead pushes the enemies away from the projectiles. She shoots a bomb, and then when she detonates the bomb, when she clicks the ability again, it nudges everybody away.
Yeah, to me this sounds like a wailing arrow with a Morales grenade attached to the top of it.
That's perfect. That's a perfect description. So that should be interesting. Disrupting channels, disrupting
channels.
Yeah, channels.
Just
pretty
channels,
much.
Really?
Yeah, pretty much channels. I was like looking for something that was similar to channels, but that's about it.
There's nothing else really. But no, it's still it interrupts channels. And it displaces people. I mean, displacement's always good. It's just a matter really it's just a matter of what her primary playstyle is going to be.
Yeah.
If she's doing a lot of damage, well, we have to see the numbers first because we don't know the numbers.
Yeah.
But depending on which ult does more damage, I guess that's probably going to be the ult you take. Unless for some reason, I don't know. I don't really know which I would take actually, because Wave of Force is probably going to do less damage than Disintegrate.
Oh, for sure.
We can. I think we can safely say that.
Yeah, I would safely assume that it will. See,
but the thing is how much is the knockback going to actually be? I think will be the key factor.
That is very true.
If it's a really big knockback, that could just be good enough to warrant it. But if she's still going to be all about doing damage, then it Disintegrate. I don't know. I'm just really excited to try her out and see.
Yeah, for sure. I really like Wave of Force because it's also a way of making enemies positioned in the way you want them to be. So if you have somebody who you want to nudge further, you can aim the ulti right at them, or the heroic, right at them, be able to hit it and move them towards you. If you want to move somebody back, you can do that. There's a lot of opportunities and options that you have with this ulti. I think Disintegrate is more of the standard damage. So I think those will definitely be the key points in deciding which is the better heroic to take.
It's like deciding Strafe versus Rain.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a fair comparison.
You get one hand you get pure damage, the other you get damage with a little utility. It just depends on what you need, basically.
I'm just excited for another mage, to be honest. Like, not literally like another mage, but like another mage type character, like an ability character.
I'm just glad they finally have arcane representation in the game.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, totally.
That trifecta is complete.
For sure.
Now you can have a triple mage team.
Oh my gosh. Frostfire and arcane. God.
So good.
All right,
But-
and now we have Zool.
Well,
Sorry.
One thing I do want to touch on actually,
Okay.
before we head to Zool, for Li-Ming, is I haven't written the my speculation article on her yet. I think I'm gonna probably write that tomorrow. But one of the things people are saying is because due to her constant reduction, she's gonna have a lot of mana issues. So she's probably gonna be really good with Malfurion.
I could see that. That's very legitimate.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. Because it doesn't matter what her stuff costs really. It could have really low cost, but if she's casting it all the time, she's still gonna run out of mana. So I think she's she's gonna be really good with somebody who can offset her constant need for mana.
Yeah. That's very legitimate. I didn't think about it like that. Good point. All right. Well, we can move on to Zool now, the Necromancer from Diablo 2. His trait, Skeleton Raise, whenever a minion dies or an allied minion, or I don't know, is it allied or is it all minions?
It is. I think it's just enemy minions.
Okay, enemy minions. So citation needed. Whenever a minion dies near him, enemy, allied, whatever, he can raise them as a skeleton, or they automatically raise as a skeleton for about 15 seconds with a maximum of 4 skeletons. It's pretty cool. Spectral Reaper is his Q. Sorry, go ahead.
No, let's go through all the abilities first. Then
Okay. Spectral Reaper is a Q. Creates a scythe target area, and then it comes towards him, and it can curve as it comes towards him. So it's kind of like Kerrigan pull, except it's not a straight line. It can curve as you move.
It's more like hammering.
Yeah, I think that's legit. Yeah. Curse Strike is his W, enhances his auto attacks so that they deal area damage and slow enemy attack speed by 50%. Very cool. Bone Prison is his E. It's a targeted ability which roots enemies after a delay. So kind of like a Diablo ability. Like you would imagine Diablo in like Diablo 3 if you played. He has this Bone Prison ability. He has it in Diablo 2 as well. It's one of his signature things, but
If I
Necromancer
played,
has it. Yes. So
Kappa.
He has, says a talent. He can have a talent for 1 bone armor, which gives a shield for 25% of your health for 3 seconds. I'm assuming people will talent into that to give him more survivability. His first heroic is Poison Nova, which is a large poison explosion dealing massive damage over time to enemies hit. And it really shines when you hit a lot of people as opposed to 1 or 2.
It is literally Venomancer's ult from Dota 2.
Oh yeah?
It's literally that.
Okay.
Which is not a bad thing because that's a really good ult.
Yeah. And then his second heroic is Skeleton Mages. Creates a line of mages that slow anybody hit, but it does not impede movement. So it's just like a slow line.
I think they do have range on their attacks, so it's not just passing through it or.
Okay.
So they do like turn and like attack people with autos that are ranged.
Okay.
But,
so it's kind of like a straight line, a gazebo wall that you can walk through.
Yes.
That slows instead of impeding movement. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, that's cool.
Think.
Yeah, and he's a specialist.
Yes.
Which is interesting. New specialist, very cool. So what do you think? I mean, it's the first Diablo 2 character, so high expectations. What do you think?
He looks so fun, man.
Yeah. Oh, I
cannot wait for this character to come out. I didn't think we'd be getting him so soon, to be honest. I thought they were gonna wait a while for the Necromancer, just because I didn't think they would do him so quickly.
Yeah.
But the more I think about it, it's been what I think the last hero to come out that really uses a lot of minions was, gosh, what's
Yeah, I
is
can't even think of. Geez, that's a very good question.
was it maybe our was it Asmodan? Was he the last one to come out?
I mean, technically, you could say Sylvanas if you take possession, but that's like not.
So we're gonna go Asmodan then.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah,
I know that was one of their concerns when making newer characters was we don't want to have too many minion characters.
yeah, but
It's definitely been a good amount of time.
it really has been a long time. Yeah, so that's like what, 2 years ago, or a year ago? Not 2 years ago, a year ago. So it has been a year. So I mean, it makes sense that they would be doing another minion character now, as opposed to so soon afterwards. But she looks so good, man.
Yeah.
So I've written my article about like what I think about him so far, and he's, to me, I mean, this is all speculation, of course. I haven't played him. To me, he seems like he's going to be really good at. He seems almost like a horror movie villain. He's going to be slow, like Leoric, sort of, where you don't want to get near him. If you get near him, that's when you're going to be hurting, because he's got this W, which makes him cleave all around him. He's got his Bone Prison, which has a pretty short, I think they said he's got a pretty short like cast range, which is a really strong root. He's got his Skellimans, who are going to attack you and also block damage for him and absorb skill shots, which is super annoying. That's one of Anubarak's strengths as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he's got Poison Nova, which is going to hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So basically, you just don't want to get anywhere near him.
Yeah.
You want to keep your distance. I think he's going to be really, really interesting when made to protect a backline from a flanker like Jaina. I think Jaina is going to be really strong against him, but I think he's also going to be strong against Jaina. If he can catch Jaina out of position, it's going to be really bad news for her. But if Jaina gets the first couple hits, you know,
he's going to be in a bad spot.
He's going to be in a really bad spot, because slowing him is going to basically make him unusable.
Unusable, yeah, absolutely. It cripples him a lot.
Yeah.
I did forget to mention, like you said, he's melee. He's a melee specialist.
Oh yeah, he's melee, big time, and a lot of his stuff is really short ranged.
Yeah.
So I think Rainer's going to be pretty good against him. I think Mouth is actually going to be pretty good against him, not only for neutralizing the Poison Nova, but also for rooting him. If you can't get close, he can't really do much. I think he's gonna just eat the Butcher to pieces.
Yeah.
Butcher and Illidan, he's gonna have a field day with them.
Yeah. That's actually funny. I thought that Rainer may not be very good against him just because of his attack speed slow, but I think if he can stay out of range...
If he can stay out of range,
then he should be good, yeah.
But yeah, if he does get close, like, it's kind of interesting, because in anybody who is good against him, aside from maybe Jaina, because slow her attack speed. Oh, whoa, who cares?
Yeah.
But anybody who you think would be really good against him, he's also really good against to an extent. You just have to play smart. I think he's going to have a pretty high skill cap. But like if he gets the flank, because he's going to be really good at harassing the back line, right? So he's almost like a bruiser the way he plays. He's going to be good at protecting the back line, and he's also going to be really good at harassing the enemy's back line. So if he gets the flank on a say an unaware Rainer and a Jaina, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Even though ordinarily in a straight up fight they would do really well against him. So I think it's going to be interesting how this plays out. He's a really unique character. Yeah, I mean, this is the first specialist we have that plays like a bruiser, aside from maybe a really weird Gazlo build. So I'm really excited to see him play out. He's got decent CC with a root, which is good. He can chase fairly decently with that. It looks like he's going to have fairly good wave clear, not super good, but enough to get by.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's going to do just a ton of damage and disruption in team fights. He's going to sow confusion like a Gravo bomb, dude. You see him walk in the middle of your team, you guys split.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited for him.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think he's going to be very, very fun to play and a very unique playstyle. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for listening to part 1 of our talking points this week. We will be back in a couple of days with our presentation on Heroes Rising, the future of esports, and the Spring Championship that was more recently announced. So as
That is
always,
that's some really exciting stuff.
yes, oh, absolutely. I'm extremely excited to talk about it. As always, I'm Conrad from GosuGamers.
And oh, do I say my name now?
If you want to,
Oh my
I
god,
switch it up, man. Do what you want to.
I'm Jacob from
Holy
GosuGamers.
cow! All right,
Holy cow!
thank you all for listening, and we hope to see you again in our next in the next part of this talk.
Yep. Take care, guys.